India holds a major position in the global seafood market. Seafood is one of the biggest foreign exchange earners of the country. In the year 2012-13, India earned nearly 18,856 crores of rupees from seafood exports. All the workers in fishing vessels, harbours, peeling sheds and processing factories have their own role to play for exporting quality seafood from our country. However, the part played by seafood factories is more significant, as it is the place where the fish materials are finally processed and packed for export. Today, we have more than 350 seafood factories located along east and west coasts of India. The major importers of our seafood products are European Union countries, America, Japan and China. All these countries are much concerned about the quality of seafood they import. They have laid down stringent guidelines and regulations for the exporting countries. We have to follow these international standards of quality control procedures for exporting our seafood products to these countries and to earn foreign exchange. Fish is an easily perishable commodity. Starting from being caught from the sea till it reaches consumer's table, fish has to be handled with utmost care to maintain its quality. This industry can only sustain if we produce and export good quality seafood from our country. Rejection of seafood products by importing countries mostly depends on certain criteria like presence of filth, presence of deadly microbes such as Salmonella, Vibrio, etc., and presence of banned antibiotics and pesticides in the products we export. Filth. Filth can be described as the extraneous matter left behind in the seafood product during different stages of processing. This includes whole insects and fragments, shells, excreta, rat and mouse hair, and feather barbules, etc. The filth should be completely removed at the time of processing. During processing, seafood materials should be cleaned thoroughly and made free of filth before packing and storing for export. Let's see how PUD shrimps are processed in the factory to remove filth. Commonly seen filth particles in PUD shrimps are parts of shrimp appendages, shells, and other extraneous materials. These materials have to be removed through proper cleaning procedures. The process is called filth washing. Filth washing machines can be used for this. After filth washing, the shrimps can be re-examined for filth. Only after ensuring that all filth is removed, the shrimps can be taken for further processing and packing. While packing in the freezing pan, washing has to be done by pouring adequate chilled water on the basin along with shrimp, so that packing workers can remove filth and clean the shrimps properly. Even after this, if any filth remains, it can be removed from processing line. For this, enough workers should be engaged at the processing line. Lack of proper cleaning and hurry to finish work in production are the main reasons for filth problems. Remember, producing good quality products by following hygiene standards is more important than producing materials more in quantity. Proper care in peeling sheds itself can minimize the filth problem. Another major issue is microbial contamination of seafood. Microbes are not visible to our naked eyes. Maintaining hygiene is the only way to defend microbial contaminations. Microbes like Salmonella, Vibrio, E. coli and Staphylococcus are spread by unhygienic conditions in the processing factory as well as by unhygienic workers. Hence, it is highly essential to ensure that the utensils and machineries used for processing are thoroughly cleaned and sanitized. Moreover, all the workers should maintain personal hygiene. Always wear clean uniforms inside processing factory. Avoid wearing ornaments and using nail polishes while at work. Nail polishes fallen off the nails into the food products will be considered as filth. Use net caps to prevent falling of hair into the seafood materials. To avoid microbial contamination from saliva and nasal discharges, make sure to wear mouthpiece. Saliva and nasal discharges may be loaded with various pathogenic microorganisms. Hence, it is better to take precautions by all means to avoid any type of contamination. Workers entering the processing hall should wash their hands thoroughly using soap and water and then sanitize by dipping their hands in chlorinated water. Use clean gloves while handling the fish products. Make sure to sanitize your hands at regular intervals by dipping in chlorinated water kept in hand dips. After chlorination, dip hands in clean water to reduce excess chlorine. After using toilets, the workers should enter the processing hall only after washing their hands and legs using soap and water and sanitizing by dipping in chlorinated water. Never go to toilet wearing your uniform. This can lead to easy spread of contaminants. Maintaining personal hygiene by the processing workers is of utmost importance. The workers should avoid using cigarettes and pan masalas inside the processing factory. Talking and sneezing by open mouth while at work will lead to microbial contamination of the seafood. So, such practices have to be avoided. Workers with contagious diseases and open wounds should never enter into the processing hall. Entry of unwanted persons into the processing hall should also be avoided. A regular cleaning schedule should be followed in the processing factory. Tables, walls, drainages, freezers, utensils, machineries and other equipment should be cleaned and sanitized daily, before and after the work. First, wash everything using soap, detergent and clean water. Then, sanitize them using chlorinated water. Precautionary measures have to be taken to prevent the entry of lizards, rats and insects into the processing hall. All the exit points, such as doors, should be fitted with automatic air curtain and blinds to prevent the entry of flies, mosquitoes, etc. All the windows should be fitted with fly-proofing nets. All the drainage openings should be covered with grill or net. Rodent traps may be placed in the premises of the processing plant as per the rodent trap map. Wastes from the processing factory should be collected and disposed of properly. Never allow the fish and other waste materials to decay inside the processing factory, as it will create favorable conditions for microbes to grow and spread. Use enough quantity of quality ice for fish storage. Water used in processing factory should be clean and free from microbes. Water should pass through water treatment plant with required chlorination. Water tank has to be cleaned and sanitized properly at regular intervals and to be documented. Effluent treatment plant has to be maintained properly in the processing plant. Workers' hygiene and health should be checked at regular intervals. Before entering the processing plant, all the workers should be free from any cut, wounds, open lesions, boils and from any contagious diseases. regular health checkup by doctor is to be done and health should be maintained. Make sure to follow standard hygienic practices while processing the seafood. Following easy methods to increase the production will finally result in loss. The materials produced in the factory should be checked regularly in the laboratory to ensure its quality. Raw materials of degraded quality should never be taken for processing. Boxes in which raw materials are brought to the factory should be cleaned and sanitized daily. Temperature of freezers and chill rooms should be checked regularly. The maintenance work of freezers and chill rooms should be carried out on time for their smooth functioning. Maintaining a detailed record of daily production of the factory will help in traceability of the products. Different varieties of seafood like shrimps, cuttlefish, squids, fish, etc. should not be processed together at same place. It is better to process them separately. Never keep fish materials on the floor or freezer for freezing. All these practices can lead to spread of pathogens and will affect the quality of the processed material. Chemical store. The chemicals used in the processing factory should be stored in a separate room. Dry and wet chemicals are to be kept separately with proper labeling. Measures should be taken to prevent the entry of rodents, lizards, and insects into the room. Packing and material store. Cartons, boxes, and plastic materials used for packing the processed seafood should be stacked neatly and stored in clean area. Proper labeling has to be practiced in the packing material storeroom. Entry of rodents, lizards, spider, and other insects into the material storeroom should be prevented. Cold store or chill room. Materials for processing shall be kept in the chill room. Chill room temperature has to be maintained at 0 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius. Fish materials after processing are packed and stored in cold store. In storeroom, the packed materials should be kept clean and tidy. Never keep the packed materials open. Always maintain the temperature of the store at the optimum level, that is below -18 degrees Celsius. The packed materials should not be kept outside the storeroom, as it would cause the material temperature to rise, leading to its spoilage. Vehicles entering the processing factory should be clean and disinfected. Facility to wash the tires of the vehicles should be there at the entrance to the factory. Thus, if we maintain hygienic standards in seafood factories, it is possible to produce and export high-quality products and to earn much better profit in foreign exchange.